Jason Lee Podcast.
All right, we're back for an all-new episode of the Jason Lee Podcast. We have been gone a week because I am dealing with high levels of anxiety. I think most people think that I don't have anxiety, like I have this perfect life because, you know, you come to the Jason Lee Podcast, you go to the Jason Lee Show, you see Hollywood Unlocked, all the things and all the things. But managing all the things is a lot, and getting here has not been easy. I have to say, first of all, shout out to all of you who keep coming back. We see the comments, we see the activity, the sharing, and I guess I go viral on TikTok every time I say something, so that's why I haven't been saying much, because I am still in an election. Believe it or not, ballots have kind of, you know, they've gotten out there. They've hit in the boxes, the mailboxes. So if you live in Stockton, California, and you're watching my podcast, which a lot of you now have told me at Starbucks, at everywhere I go, you watch the podcast back home. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please make sure you're letting everybody know to mark the box for Jason Lee and Christina Fugazi. We need her in as mayor. It takes 4 votes in the city in order to pass things. Those of you who think there's too many dogs, potholes, you know, just everything wrong with the city, crime high. A 14-year-old was just murdered again the other day in my district. You have to vote, and you have to have 4 people who are aligned and have the vision for a brand new day in the city. So in Stockton, and I'm starting with Stockton, but for those of you outside of Stockton saying, well, I'm not in Stockton, let me tell you, this applies to you too. Make sure you do your research and vote for the right people. If you're in Stockton, vote for me. Vote for Christina Fugazi for mayor. This Saturday, if you're in Stockton, we have Floyd Mayweather coming to the city. Let me go ahead and clap it up for the champ. You know, you got to be careful how you play with God's kids, because y'all keep playing in my face. And that's why we created our fan base, the Gag Nation, because we gag you every time you try it. There was a city council member who is currently battling claims that he molested his niece.
Allegedly.
Brando Villapudua. Anyway, he, currently is a city council member who challenged me when I got there, asking me if I'm friends with this person and this person. Why won't they do no fundraiser? If you missed that on my social media, let me drop the T. Truth, trust, and transparency. Right here. Take a look.
You talk about Rihanna. You talk about Mayweather. They're great friends with you. Why can have they ever done a fundraiser for you?
Well, this Saturday, Floyd Mayweather is coming to Stockton to the Bob Hope Theater. Where's it at? Because you're going to put some respect on my name. I'm a kid from the District 6, South Side, South Stockton area. When I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. The champ has been in our corner here at Hollywood Unlocked from day one. And my day one is now coming to Stockton for the first time. If you want to come and see him and hear the conversation and entertainment, Spinderella from Salt and Pepper's also coming. You can buy tickets. I'll put the ticket link right here. Go get some tickets. There are a few left. But yeah, would love you to pull up. Isn't it great to see when haters hate and then the tables just turn on them? Mm-hmm. It feels so sweet. Well, in that same clip, as you saw, Brando challenged me to asking Rihanna for help too. And as you all know, Rihanna had already pulled up this year, and she hosted a dinner party for my nonprofit to help us raise money to help all the young people in Stockton. And you've been watching all the amazing work we've been doing, so I want to shout her out as well. And that's just a smooth transition into what I've been doing. Don't you hate a plus one? I hate plus ones. Plus ones always do too much. And Rob did not fail to be one of those plus ones. Rob is a permanent plus one because as a best friend and somebody who's helped me build this whole thing we have here, Rob has had my back. Well, the other night, I've been trying to get in touch with Rihanna because we want her on the show. We just want Rihanna. We don't even care. She could just stand in the room and let us smell her all day. We would be okay. I love the girl. You know that. I try not to talk too much here because every time I post a picture with her, y'all wonder what I'm using to blackmail her. She actually likes me. God forbid. Well, anyway, we've been trying to get in touch with each other or trying to hang out. And she calls me and says, I have one day before I have to fly out. Let's go to dinner. I said, okay, cool. She said, yeah, you want to bring somebody, bring somebody. I said, okay, cool. So, of course, I called all my friends, and none of them were available. So then I called Rob. And Rob happened to be, and I called Rob, and he didn't answer. So then I called everybody else, and they were not available. Rob was available. Rob then says he's going to meet me. And so he comes to the restaurant, or he come to my house. We go there. We go to the restaurant. We had a fabulous time. I'm going to spare all the details because what was supposed to be a quick little dinner turned into a 7-hour moment. But it wasn't just the moment of, laying on Rihanna, smelling Rihanna's hair, her holding my arm, me holding her arm, just us being very inseparable. Sorry, Rocky, you weren't there. It was Rob and his unlimited glasses of wine that I knew was going to turn into a mess. Rob has been walking around telling everybody about this moment he had with Rihanna. So I would not start the show without allowing him the opportunity to share his moment. Go.
Well, thank you. It was an absolute dream. And Rihanna recognized me from this show, which I was pleasantly surprised. She watches the show and I love it. And she said, and I quote, "You're my favorite," which Jason didn't like. And then she also proceeded to tell me that she thought my lips were beautiful. And I've always had an issue, and this is honest to God, I've always had an issue with my lips being two-tone because they're like ombre. They're like darker around the edges and then pink in the middle.
Rob,
and
she said never heard of ombre lips.
I just made it up.
Okay.
It's what I call them. I call them ombre lips. But she said that the pink in the middle is beautiful. And I was like, ah. And it made me feel special. And I use her Fenty lip
And so
oil.
now, do you have it on you? I want you to see the gayest thing Rob decided to do right in front of Rihanna. And look, I'm all for the gay charades, but this moment in time took the cake. Pull it out and show them exactly what you did.
I said
to the camera.
Oh my God. So I said, which is this camera? She said, she said they're so pink, they're pink now. And I said, that's because I use this. And then she was like, "Is that mine?" And I said, "It is." And then I put some on.
And show them how you put this Fenty lip gloss on.
It's lip oil. It's not lip
Whatever.
gloss. Okay, you just put a little on.
Very demure.
Very mindful. And then I take a little shine off. But it really does keep your lips like moist and like they're not chapped ever. They're soft. They don't crack.
Okay, Rob, you're not in a campaign right now.
I know. I mean, okay. I could be.
But listen,
Fenty,
you know, what I love most about my life, it reminds me of when we were at Floyd's birthday party in Miami, and Rico at the time was my assistant, and Kanye was sitting right there, and he loved Kanye, and I was like, go speak to Kanye. He was like, I don't want to speak to Kanye. I'm like, go speak to Kanye. But he had his own little moment with him, but this was very different than that.
Yeah.
For those of you, the Navy Nation and the Gag Nation, this is for y'all, not the haters, because everybody's going to be mad that this happened. She's everything that you would want her to be.
Everything. She's super down to earth. She literally like handed me a glass and was like, "Here, have some wine." And she was just really chill. Like she was like your homie. Like she just really was not, it didn't feel like you were sitting next to a billionaire at all. Like the woman is just everything.
And then she walked outside with that she had a tracksuit on with a fur coat. Only Rihanna gonna go out with a fur coat and a tracksuit. But yeah, that was a great time. I want to say, like, I really had a lot of fun. We went to her restaurant, her favorite restaurant, Giorgio Baldi. And she actually paid the bill, so we can now say Rihanna took us to dinner. So thank you, Riri, for paying the bill. I mean, you're not a billionaire. You can afford it. And shout out to Carolyn, who was also there. We had a great time with Carolyn. Carolyn is a key. I'm just going to leave it at that. She works with Riri. But, you know, it was the reason I wanted to bring that up, two reasons. One, because of course, Rob needed to have his moment. He cannot stop telling everybody his moment with Rihanna and blah, 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 blah. And I also want to say shout out to her because she was so nice and accommodating to Rob. And she's always like that with everybody. And I think it's just a reflection of who she is as a woman. We had a lot of private conversation that I will never share, but she did say she was coming on the show, on the Jason Lee show. So we are waiting for that. The reason I bring it up is because after we left the restaurant, y'all asked Rihanna the dumbest question I've ever heard in my life. You had one moment with Rihanna, one moment to ask her anything. How are your kids? How's mom's? When's Rocky's album dropping? Well, tell us about that new Fenty hair launch in the islands. Now that you've expanded as a poor girl who grew up to be a billionaire, now bringing her brand to her home, to the motherland. Well, it's not the motherland, but the sisterland. Either way, you could have asked her anything you wanted, like, how did you enjoy your dinner with Jason? But no, you asked her, has she been to the Diddy freak-offs? This
That's
Diddy
crazy.
freak-off thing has got me so sick that I'm just going to go right to the tea with Jason Lee. Yes, baby oil. This is what my world has come to. All you want to talk about is baby oil, baby oil, baby. Did he do it? Did he not do it? Did he? I no longer want to hear the word Diddy ever again because I don't know, did he do it or did he not do it? I know one thing he did do is he has now, I haven't had baby oil since I was a baby, but I had to buy the baby oil as a visual aid so all of y'all can know that I no longer want to hear about baby oil. I went to Starbucks. Somebody said, you're viral on TikTok. Why? Because you was talking about who was at the Diddy parties. Then I went over here to, man, what you think about Diddy? I went to the gym this morning. Somebody stopped me in the locker room. Now, you already know, you already lathered up with whatever that is, asking me why you got a towel on and no clothes. Jason, what you think about Diddy and the baby oil? My stress level has been high because I am avoiding baby oil conversations. But I do want to get into it. And it's at the bottom of my list today, but guess what? Unlike Diddy, we're going to move it right to the top. Diddy is facing some problems. Diddy is in trouble. That is the easiest way to say it. And you can speculate who's responsible, but of course he plays a part of it because they didn't just there's some smoke. Now, whether there's fire, we don't know, but I'm going to tell you where the fire is. I am fired up at the fact that this has now dominated the conversation in media across the world in the midst of wars, genocides, and an election. So I have to say, I am so above all of what I have to talk about right now, but unfortunately, I have to entertain you. So I have to say first, before I even get started, I am really annoyed at the fact that this topic has dominated world news, pop culture news, and all news in the midst of watching bombs being dropped in Israel. You can you can say whatever you want about Israel, whether or not Gaza is a genocide or this or that. That stuff you can unpack later. I wish we'd be talking more about those things than we are about this. Because what we are talking about right now is somebody who got arrested for something some people said, and there's nothing proving he did it, but it's so salacious, and we want to know, was Meek Mill really getting it busted open, or was Beyonce and Jay-Z hiding the baby oil? You guys are so consumed with it that I have to talk about it. This is why I ran for office, and this is why I love my nonprofit, and this is why I love Healthcare Unlocked, because all of that is going to help transform the world. This is not going to transform the world. This is meaningless conversation in order to make you feel good eating your bonbons and popcorn. But again, I love you and I'm here to do my job. But I have to say I'm really frustrated. I'm annoyed at the fact that this has dominated every conversation that I have had with people in the last week or so. And it says a lot about you. It says a lot about you, the consumer. It says a lot about you, the person that doesn't want to hear any more of it, but tuned in to hear it. And I'm not saying don't tune in because I love that you tune in. But I want you, like me, to listen to this story and then move on and go about your day and go do something else more productive. Because this is a stupid moment in time. All right. I had to get that off because it is really annoying. Is it annoying?
It's annoying.
It's annoying. I mean, yes, this is what we have to unpack the trending news. I'm more mad at the fact that this is dominating the media. And you almost wonder, are you trying to hide the fact that we have an election? Because if y'all don't know, in about a month, we're going to have new leadership in the country, which impacts our relationships in the world. And guess what? Diddy's still going to be in jail, whether he did or didn't do it. He ain't going to have access to the best baby oil, but he's still going to be in jail. Should I say all that at the top or no?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I had to get that off. Okay. So now that I've been responsible, let's get into the team. Because I'm still going to be me. This is good. I mean, it's bad for the culture, but this is good for entertainment. See how I mixed up both worlds there? I was a responsible councilman. I did do my part. But now I got a day job. Wendy Williams is somewhere locked in an asylum, wishing that she had her purple chair to talk about what she's been talking about for years. Because Wendy always knew, in all those days that you all attacked good old Wendy Williams, you were the culprit in the cover-up. Well, Diddy is in jail, and so every week we're going to probably give you an update because it looks like there's a new update every day. But before I get into all the particulars around whether he did or didn't do it and this baby oil and the dildos and all the craziness, I have to clarify something because I've been seeing a lot of stuff pop up online that is absolutely not accurate. So this morning, I woke up to a text from somebody in Germany who sent me this image. Now, this is an image of somebody claiming online that I said that this is what Jason Lee's spilling the tea on what Beyonce did at Diddy's party. No. Let me tell all of you out there right now using me for clickbait, let be very clear. I've asked all my attorneys to go after anybody that says I said something I didn't say or I was somewhere I wasn't at or anything, because this thing is growing arms now. And for entertainment purposes, people love sharing all this stuff online, and I'm not going to let you play on my name. So you have been warned. If you've not seen this video, you can deal with that in court, but do not say I said anything. What I did was I was at my house back home where I live in Stockton, and I did a live where I said I've been to the Diddy parties and I've seen all the celebrities that have been there, which is almost every celebrity that you can think of, although I did not see Rihanna there. I did see Beyonce there. I did see Jay-Z. I did see Nas. I did see Usher, and I seen Justin Bieber and Chris Brown and Tiana Taylor, Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Tyrese, Lindsay Lohan, Mariah Carey, Nick Cannon. I can go on and on. Everybody went to Diddy's parties because Diddy's parties were a cultural staple in pop culture and in entertainment. So if you wanted to go to a Diddy all-white party, remember they started way out in the Hamptons years ago. People have been going to this party for years. And when he brought it to LA, I said on the show, he brought it or on one of the shows, he brought it to Prince's house. You're not going to go to Prince's house to a Diddy all-white party and enjoy unlimited Ciroc and performances in every major celebrity that you can think. Of course you are. That is okay. It is okay to go to a Diddy party. Now, people are being drawn into Diddy After Dark because they mentioned that they went to a Diddy party. I'm not opposed to people saying they went to Diddy parties, because if you're actually saying in today's times that you went to a Diddy party, you probably didn't do anything. But if you're not saying you went to a Diddy party and you're silent and you can't be found, well, maybe Diddy After Dark was not was another party that you attended. I want to be clear for those of you asking for a Hollywood insider to unlock this for you. Let me unlock the experience. There are Diddy parties and Diddy white parties that everybody went to, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if you've been to a Diddy party, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, thank God for the protection of owning Hollywood Unlocked, because y'all hate me so much when I walk in a party that you never let me into the extra access that maybe I thought I needed to be in. Like, let me in the house. Let me near Beyonce. I want to know what you're doing inside. Well, clearly you didn't want me inside because Diddy After Dark had a bunch of this stuff going on. Allegedly. So Hollywood Unlocked, I used to always, this is why I have to say, good God, thank you, it's the glory. I used to be mad when they wouldn't let me go in the house or when they wouldn't let me stay, or, because I always thought, like, you are shaming me for being a pillar of the culture, for being a voice for the voices, for being the other side of the red rope. Well, you was trying to keep me from being roped into the bullshit, allegedly. Mm-hmm. And then now rejection is God's protection.
Always.
I can't say I saw anything at a Diddy party because I was never allowed to be in anything after what I was allowed to be in. Okay? I want to set the stage for those of you who've never been to a Diddy party, most of you watching, and most of the celebrities that are deleting all the texts where they got invited and don't want no memories. Y'all all getting indicted, or you're getting invited to court something. Y'all get your best clothes on, because I'm going to be eating popcorn and sipping tea when all y'all go to court, because it's coming. This is going to be better than OJ. When you get an invite to the Diddy party, okay, you're either an insider in Hollywood, a celebrity, or you're a girl. They don't invite a bunch of guys. Guys can't bring plus ones, and you don't get to bring your security if you are somebody with security in the party, because Diddy has his own security keeping it locked down. Many times that I've gone, you cannot go through. They have the whole street blocked off in front of his house because people are trying to break in the mansion because Beyonce is in there. Now, if you know me, you knew I was a Beyonce fanatic. Man, I would have climbed under the gate to get to Beyonce. Well, when you got in, she was in the house with Jay-Z. So you couldn't even get in. So just context, Diddy's parties were so popping, everybody wanted to be there. And if there's anybody that's been there, that has witnessed the experience, you know what it is. I mean, you've seen videos now popping up of his son jumping on an oversized bed in the backyard. Well, now you're saying the bed is where all the victims lied. I don't know that to be true because when I was in the backyard, I saw him on the bed. I saw Jay-Z in front of the bed. Jay-Z didn't get on the bed with Diddy though. I saw Chris Brown on the bed. It's just a thing. It wasn't like, at least in my mind, that there was no conflation between that and all the women that were allegedly chained down, sprayed down with baby oil and given IVs in order to get healthy after being beat down by the friends. That's what they're saying happened in the Diddy parties after dark. So I want to address the viral video that has apparently taken over TikTok. I was simply naming celebrities that I know have been there. I was not claiming that I have any knowledge of any of them participating in, being victims to, or knowing anything about anything. Okay, most celebrities now, I think, are terrified of having their name pulled into something because, unlike me, when I go viral, I get more money. When they go viral, they can lose a deal, they can lose a house, they can lose a partnership, and people are terrified of being sucked in, dragged into something that they don't want to be a part of. So I want to say again, for the record, whoever's making these claims that I said Beyonce was doing stuff with Diddy or anything like that, anytime Beyonce was there that I saw Beyonce there, she wasn't even really interacting with Diddy. Diddy was interacting with Jay, and Beyonce was with her man. So let's just squash that. And then the other thing is, I've mentioned that the whispers of Jay-Z is getting louder, louder, and louder. And we're going to get into that now, too, because I don't know what Jay's connection to it is. I know that Jay is somewhere peeking over at his Instagram and hoping that y'all ain't dragging him into nothing. And we have an update on that. But I just want to clarify that because it's just so easy these days to be able to say, Jason said this or this person said that. Jason ain't say that. Whatever Jason say, you're going to hear it straight from his mouth. I can say that. I don't even want to talk about my mouth when I talk about this story. And then y'all say Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber somewhere with his new baby and his wife trying to figure out his relationship with his pastor. Because I can tell you, I've been to Justin Bieber's house, rode up to Justin Bieber's house one day with a friend, I ain't going to tell you who, and him and all them other young people in that party. I'm going to say this.
Allegedly.
So I don't want to get sued. They were on some. We have to stop saying that this man is responsible for every celebrity's downfall and what they've been doing, because I can tell you, I'm not here to defend him whatsoever. In fact, I'm disgusted by all the stuff I have to talk about today. But this one man is not going to absolve everybody in this industry for all the shit that they've been doing. And I will say that I've been hearing a lot of people trying to distance themselves from Diddy. One thing I know for sure is this man ain't going to go down by himself. Now, and if you've been participating, from what I heard, they got all the videos anyway. So y'all might as well just go ahead and come on the Jason Lee Show and just sit on the couch and tell us what happened. But until then, let's get into it. So on the last podcast, we left off with Diddy being indicted. He was arrested and denied bond twice in a federal sex trafficking, prostitution, and racketeering case. They have put all these charges against the man that he's just buried, right? Well, we broke down the whole indictment and a few celebrity reactions. And since then, reports broke about Diddy being on suicide watch, but his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, told TMZ that after spending several hours with Diddy in federal custody, he's not at all suicidal, and that he's strong, healthy, confident, focused on his defense. Now, the legal troubles keep mounting as more people file more lawsuits. This Houston attorney, his name is Tony Busby. Tony Busby said that he's now representing 120 new accusers. See, now here's the issue I have with that. This attorney, now, let me first start by saying that if you've been touched by anybody, you have the right to be represented. You have the right to make claims. You all know that I survived being molested twice, and I had people not believe me when I told them. So I'm an advocate for people who've been molested, been raped, or been victims of sexual assault or anything like that. That said, we've also watched in cancel culture and in today's society, a lot of people with the Me Too movement hijack or bandwagon onto things in order to get fame or money or whatever. And I've seen it myself. So I know that to be a true thing. Anytime I see an attorney standing at a press conference with the phone number and name of their company in the back, I understand the intention, at least what they want us to believe is that if there are more victims, call and come forward. But it's also very good promotion when you know the whole world's going to be watching. And it's also screams ambulance chasing. This attorney is now saying that there are 60 new cases of men and 60 women accusing Diddy of sex assault. First of all, 120 people got courage over the last week to come forward and say that they've been molested and raped. Do you believe it?
I thought it was thousands that came up to them, and then they vetted those people, allegedly.
Do you believe 120?
I personally, I believe that the number is probably large. I don't know how many it is. I don't know if 120 is that number, but I do think
people who have been sexually assaulted.
Yes, and again, like we're talking about a person with privilege, position, power, and money, and I think this has spanned, these freak-offs have allegedly spanned over years. So it could be a lot more people than that, honestly, that felt like they were victimized but never came forward because he controlled the gate to their career or to them elevating in whatever it is they wanted to do. And they were afraid of what he could do, and he also seemed to be threatening violence. So we've seen that.
I'm having a hard time digesting a couple of things. One, I'm having a hard time digesting where have all these people been? Like, not blaming them, but has it not been a safe environment to do it? Have you not felt empowered to do it? Have you been afraid of something? Do you now feel with him in jail that you have more freedom to come forward? Because if that's the case, Diddy needs to get life in prison. I mean, if they prove all this to be true, he needs to never see the light of day again. But I also think that if thousands came forward and only 120 were vetted to be true, and we don't know the reasons or even if that's a fair report, people that make false claims should receive the same amount of time that a person would if they get convicted of something.
Absolutely.
I think there needs to be more accountability for people. And this is not to persuade, because look, if I was molested or when I was molested, I came forward regardless of what a consequence would be, because I feel like I have the right to be vindicated, and the person has an obligation to serve time or whatever, right? And I did my part. But now with today, it's kind of weird where everybody's dogpiling. This person was touched, and then they file civil lawsuits, but they don't file criminal charges. In this case now, 120 people have come forward saying that they were sexually assaulted by Diddy, and the alleged victims were from more than 25 different states, most of which were from California. So 25 accusers were minors at the time the alleged incidents happened, with the youngest being 9 years old, and a 9-year-old male. And here's the accuser's attorney, Tony, at the press conference talking about it. Take a listen.
One individual who was 22 years at the time she was assaulted said that the typical MO at one of these parties that have been widely discussed in the press was that when you were handed a drink, and now we know that the drink is laced with something, if you refused to drink it, you were kicked out of the party. Now, let that sink in for a minute. I mean, the admission to this party was that you had to drink the chosen drink that was handed to you. And now we know that in most cases, I would say 90% of the cases, these individuals were drugged with some sort of drug. That was kind of the MO. Another instance, this individual who was 9 years old at the time was taken to an audition in New York City with Bad Boy Records. Other boys were there to audition as well. All of them were trying to land a record deal. All of them were minors. This individual was sexually abused, allegedly by Sean Combs and several other people at the studio in the promise to both his parents and to him himself of getting a record deal. Another instance, another minor told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him.
I don't want to be the guy on record saying that it's not true, and I'm not going to do that, because again, then I'll be participating in what I think is part of the problem, that we're doing this in public, right? Like, I want this to go through the court process. What evidence do you have? What witnesses were there? Where was the 9-year-old kid's parents? Like, some of you parents need to go to jail. R. Kelly, all those kids that were molested by R. Kelly need to be in prison right next to him. Like, I am sick. Like, I think the beauty in this case is me now wanting to know, where the was the parents? Where was the mom and the dad? You know, as a person who didn't have parents like Rob did or Marina did, who actually loved or protected them the way that normal parents are supposed to, and that fell victim to a person younger, when I was younger than 9 years old, my question is, where are you? And where is the responsibility for them? This attorney should be indicted by representing somebody without calling for the accountability of the parent. And yes, I am blaming the parent, because guess what? If you actually give a shit about your kid at 9 years old, you don't let them go wander off with somebody just because they're a celebrity. I wouldn't give a damn if Diddy came and Bojangled in with a bottle of Ciroc singing every tune from Bad Boys. You're not getting my kid. It's these parents who are sitting on the sidelines hoping that their kid becomes famous so they can finally quit their 9-to-5 job at the fucking warehouse, who are the problem. You serve your kids up to these predators, and then you turn around, you want the society to actually care enough to give you a bag? You didn't get your bag then, so now you get your bag now? Nah, that is what I am so frustrated about. I'm so frustrated about the fact that we are so invested in this bullshit circus when there are parents who participated. Because yes, if you allowed your kid to go on an audition with a grown-ass man, and then the grown-ass man somehow lure your kid away with him, and you so happy that Diddy wants your kid, you are a part of the problem. And you need to go to jail too. So you know what, Tony? Go after him, get a conviction, and then serve up the parents so we could turn around and put their ass right there with them. That's how I feel about that. Now, all the rest, I'll get to the rest in a minute. But I am personally, as somebody who advocates for young people who are victim to people like that, and I'm going to say again, allegedly, because I don't want to get sued. But when you have a situation like this, and then you come on here and gaslight our emotions to believe Diddy took down a 9-year-old, where were the parents? I mean, do they not deserve to be held accountable?
Absolutely. And I think your level of frustration right now with this is what I think should come out of this public shaming of Diddy, right? It should be advocacy for people who are victims of sexual violence, people who are victims of domestic violence, people not taking care of their kids and allowing them to be put in situations where they are abused. It should be about advocacy for victim shaming. Like, these are the conversations. Not everybody wanted to know the salacious details of what celebrity was in the room. Like, these are the conversations that should be had from this.
I cannot. I just, again, I feel like where were the security guards? Where were the drivers? These 9-year-olds got to eat. Where the chefs? Where the assistants clean up? My assistant, Andrew, would never buy 1,000 bottles of baby oil or buy a flight or a car for a 9-year-old, or even watch a 9-year-old walk in my house unattended and not be like, Rob, there's a problem. My team would never do that. So I don't understand that. You know, again, flying people out, for those of us that are public figures, it is convenient to fly people to meet you. I'm not going to go hang out in Ohio and walk to the local grocery store, whatever y'all grocery stores are called, when I can have somebody come see me. Going to see Diddy is not the problem. So all of you celebrities being quiet because you've been flying people out, ain't nothing wrong with flying people out. Are you flying out people who are grown or 9-year-olds? Are you flying people out against their will and holding them against their will and beating them down? That's what they allege. So this lawsuit thing has become such a circus that people are just, it has created a chaos in the culture and in entertainment because everybody's waiting for the next shoe to drop. This last shoe of the 9-year-old has me feeling some type of way because parents don't get to just wake up and absolve themselves of being responsible. Mm-hmm. Do you think Beyonce would have been at Diddy's house if she knew that a 9-year-old allegedly was hanging out at the pool with Diddy? No, none of us would have been there if we knew that. And so who concealed it? Who served it up? Those are the people that are complicit in this, not the people who went to the Diddy party. Well, meanwhile, in the lawsuit represented by attorney Gloria Allred, and we all know who Gloria Allred is, anytime there's a case with some attention, here she goes right in front of the cameras. Well, she went with a woman named Thalia Graves. She accused Diddy and his head of security, Joseph Sherman, of violently raping her. I'll say allegedly.
Allegedly.
Now, Talia stated that the traumatic event led to suicidal thoughts. Even 23 years later, after the incident, she thought of hurting herself. Now, at the time of the alleged 2001 incident, Talia was just 25 years old and was dating one of Diddy's employees. She claims that Diddy manipulated her into a private meeting with himself and his head of security, where they isolated her and allegedly provided her with a drink that was likely drugged, causing her to briefly lose consciousness. And then she asserts that she woke up to find herself restrained with Diddy and Sherman, then proceeding to sexually assault her in a brutal manner. Now, during a press conference with her attorney, Gloria Allred, she got emotional. Take a listen.
This has put a strain on my selection of men and relationships. But many relationships became aggressive and abusive, which has made me feel even more alone in my struggles. I go through spells of being distant and withdrawn that it's sometimes so hard to leave my house. The trauma of the assault has taken a toll on my mental health. I've had PTSD, depression, and anxiety. I'm emotionally scarred. It has been hard for me to trust others, to form healthy relationships, or even feel safe in my own skin. Flashbacks, nightmares, and intrusive thoughts make me feel like it's a constant struggle.
Now, listen, there are lots of women who support Hollywood Unlocked. I have 5 sisters. I understand that women are subjected to some of the most ridiculous things at the hands of men. Lots of white elected ones that tell them what to do with their bodies too, but I ain't talking about that because we're talking about this. But women are subjected to some of the craziest things in this country and around the world as it relates to control over their bodies and stuff like women. So I ain't gonna play in her face and say whether she's telling the truth or not, because that is the story that she's telling. What I will say, Talia, is I respect the fact that you put your face to it, that you actually went out there and you are facing it head on. And maybe in some weird way, that's your way of really reclaiming your power. And so I respect the not Jane Doe, because you could have hid behind Jane Doe like a lot of people do. So here's where we go. Some are not real and some are real. And this one has some seemingly credibility to it. At least it feels that way. When you hear, as a woman, when you hear this or you see that, what do you think?
I feel like it's so heartbreaking. And when you see somebody breaking down like that, like, I believe her. I believe those tears. I think there's power in numbers. I think, like, Cassie opening the floodgates, everyone now, like, feels protected, especially now that he's, like, behind closed doors and Diddy's kind of, like, locked away. And knowing the weird ending of Kim Porter and how she passed away, I just feel like it's scary to speak up. You see all these people, like, you don't know what's going to happen to you. So now I feel like this is the first of many that are going to pop up. And so, yeah.
Well, see, and there's always been this feeling that if you cross Diddy, you could die, right? It to me, it was never like communicated like if you tell about his sexcapade or it's just that if you cross him, you could die. And that's just, I mean, I've heard that, I felt that. I mean, that's been kind of the thing. When you have power, you have money, and you're connected to people in the streets, things can happen. Think about it. You don't know who's following you home. They could tag your car. They can come to your house. You just out and about. We see people get murdered and stuff all the time. And so it is a possibility.
Yes.
And when you're rich and you're a man and you're powerful and you're scary and you got all this influence and whatever, you could make things happen. So why would a woman want to come forward? So maybe Cassie did create a floodgate for women to come forward, and men. I saw an AI video today of Meek Mill tongue kissing Diddy down out. It's not even real. Like, AI is like, and that adds to some of the problem that makes this a very complicated situation, because we're spending so much time trying to decipher what's real or not, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, it was also reported that a male sex worker submitted an alleged sex tape to the feds. I told y'all before that I had a friend years ago tell me that Diddy had him mess with Cassie allegedly on camera. He told me this 3 years before the allegations came out, and I thought he was lying, but he was telling me something there, and I had to apologize to him recently because he was telling the truth. And this is the guy that used to model for Diddy. This is a friend of mine that I know, and we laugh now that I was so mean to him because I thought he was a fraud. But that goes back to me wanting, we saw that we now are hearing that there's an alleged sex tape. Mm-hmm. Now, the male escort had signed a proffer agreement with the feds, meaning he can talk to investigators without facing criminal charges. And I want to break down something else because, I always talk on shows or whatever and say, like, I make people sign NDAs, all my staff sign NDAs, whatever. An NDA does not prevent you from telling the police about a criminal act. So I want to say that to everybody. My team knows that. You should know that. Everybody out there in the world. An NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, does not mean that you lose your right to disclose a violation of the law. It's if I get a call from the White House and we're talking about things where I share intellectual property or my vision for my company, or you can't take that and share that with people. If you come into my home, what you learn in my home, unless it breaks the law, has to remain in my home. That is what NDAs are for. Having people sign NDAs are customary. I remember years ago we had reported on Chris Brown having girls sign NDAs. I remember there was a report when he first started hanging with Carucci that he wanted her to sign the NDA. That's typical, right? Now, if you're a 9-year-old being flown in on a private jet to hang with Diddy and somebody slides you a piece of paper to put your crayon to the paper and sign your name, that's illegal. And guess what? It's not going to hold up when you get caught up like this. Mm-hmm. Well, back to the escort. During conversations, the male escort told agents about his alleged encounters with Diddy and what kinds of drugs he allegedly preferred. Now, he claimed that in May 2023, he traveled from Atlanta to Miami to meet Diddy and a woman along with another male escort for an alleged freak-off. Did you imagine we'd be talking about freak-offs this much?
No.
Ever.
Even
when the Freaknik documentary came out, we didn't talk about freak-offs.
We sure did not.
And freak-offs were a thing that were commercialized, and there's a whole documentary out now about the Freaknik back in the 90s. And part of what people are struggling to reconcile is that a lot of what people are being held accountable now was acceptable at some time before. Mm-hmm. Flying people in, spraying them down with baby oil. Maybe that was a thing y'all did. By the way, I never liked baby oil, and I never liked Vaseline. Like, I just, really? Oh my God, I hate Vaseline. And yes.
I liked baby oil for a time, and I would put Vaseline on my lips. But
I like baby oil lotion, but I guess because Diddy couldn't spray them down with the lotion, allegedly. Well, during the meeting, the sex worker claimed that he engaged in sexual activity with the woman and that Diddy recorded that sexual experience. This is similar to what my friend said. I wonder if it's my friend. Well, then he'd be a sex worker, and then we can't be friends anymore.
Well, I thought you said you knew he was a sex worker.
My friend?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
My friend was a model for Diddy.
Oh, that's right.
Who was brought in allegedly and asked to mess around with Cassie while Diddy filmed it and masturbated. He was not a sex worker. But then if he got paid to do that, he's a sex worker. Yo, if you're a sex worker, I gotta cut you, bro. Like, I just can't. I can't.
Well,
like,
everybody's a sex worker now.
No, we're not.
OnlyFans.
I'm not on OnlyFans.
I'm not saying you.
So don't say everybody. Are you on OnlyFans, Marina?
No.
I'm saying we have to
don't rope us into your bullshit.
We have to cut a lot of friends because they do OnlyFans.
First of all, back to the show. We just went to dinner with yesterday. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Well, look, OnlyFans model. A third new lawsuit made headlines this time. A woman now is accusing Diddy of sexual assault and claimed that he got her pregnant. Now, Jane Doe claimed Diddy assaulted her repeatedly over a 4-year span, beginning when they met in 2020. She alleged that he caused her to become pregnant, but she ultimately suffered a miscarriage. Now, in her lawsuit, right, I'm going to say allegedly that. In her lawsuit, the woman recounted her visit to Diddy's homes in LA, New York, and Miami from 2021 to 2022, asserting that these encounters were not often consensual. And then she alleged that he employed coercive and harassing language to compel her presence, even sending drivers to intimidate her. In one disturbing incident in 2022, she alleged to have sustained physical injuries after encounter with the rapper, waking up with purple bruises and a bite mark on her feet.
This is just...
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's a lot.
It's too much. When are Diddy's attorneys going to quit? Because at this point, if I woke up and every day, well, no, because that's job security, right? If you have more things to defend. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Diddy is going to be drained of all his money, fighting all these charges. and then he's going to get out and be broke. And none of y'all are going to be there for him. All the Diddy parties he had meant nothing. That, I think, again, is another reason why I'm really over, like, the industry in a sense, because I had fun with it, but, like, there's no loyalty. There's no real friendships, and there's a bunch of freak-offs happening. You know, I want to go back to something. I'm going to share something right here on the show, and I don't care what anybody says about it. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. It's my experience, and I get to share it. I've been to so many parties. I remember going to the party of Carl Lewis. Do you remember Carl Lewis, the track star, the Olympian? Do you remember? Have you ever heard about his parties?
No, I didn't know.
I will never forget the night that we got to his party, and Carl Lewis made us drink a drink in order to get in the house. Now, I can't say that I felt woozy or that I, anything happened to me, but I do remember vividly people going up to Carl Lewis's bedroom with different people in the party. And I wonder now if there was something in that drink. I can't say that I felt anything. Was it like a hello? Like, 'cause I go to the White House, they have champagne on a platter. So is that like his version of the champagne, just a knockoff? I don't know. But this is why you shouldn't require people to drink something before they enter, because there may be sex inducing drugs that make you more horny, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, if I find out that I was given a sex inducing drug, now do I then go back and file a lawsuit and become a John Doe?
Yeah. A little civil case there.
Now, I'm not alleging that you did anything, Carl. I'm just saying that it was a prerequisite to get in your house. Now, Jamie Foxx, I know you just allegedly had a stroke.
Allegedly.
You ain't been on the show, so let me just ask you, the Jamie Foxx parties. Lots been said about those parties. Rob is dying over there because he knows what I'm about to say.
I've been to one of the Jamie Foxx parties with you, but
no, the other celebrity party you went to, I'm not going to say his name because Lord knows if I drop his name right now, y'all will flood social media. But Rob went to a celebrity's party, and when it turned evening, it turned into a different type of party after dark, right?
Yeah.
But most people participated on their own.
It was consensual.
And it was just a freak off.
Yeah.
In Encino.
Yes.
And you guys you told me this story before all this even happened. So that's the crazy part.
It's real. Like,
it's real.
Again, let's not conflate being freaky at the house that Rob looked forward to going to and the Diddy After Darks that are all still allegations for the record, right? Because I'm still having a hard time. You know, I worked myself up with the 9-year-old thing. Like, on a personal level, I felt me getting personal with the story. Because when I see online, it's so easy nowadays to call people pedophiles and this and this and that and that. And it's like, where are your parents at? Where are the parents? Let me say another thing I think I have a problem with. The United States right now, in some states, make it legal for you to have sex with a 16-year-old. Why is it that, did you know that? Oh my God, 16 and 17. See, New York, this is why mapping out all these allegations, right? If you're in New York, you can have sex with a 17-year-old. If you're in Atlanta, you can have sex with a 16-year-old, right? Now, why don't the U.S. just make it 18?
Right.
I mean, I personally agree that there are some circumstances where there should be like federal limitations on things, but of course, people want to have states make decisions on certain things. But I think when it comes to something like this, it should just be a nationwide agreement that an age limit is required.
They don't take IDs at Diddy's house. Anyway, I'm done. Diddy, I'm as tired of this story as you look in this picture. You're not going to see the show because you're in jail. And, you know, I can't wait until you go to court and just have your day in court to be able to get us past this, because I feel like we are stuck in Diddygate. You know, and bottles and bottles and bottles, 1,000 bottles of you. How can you even explain having? I mean, I guess you could say you have a huge house, you have lots of guests come over, you get massages, you and all your 1,000 though.
No,
that's why I said I think he just had the Amazon delivery.
That's
on
a brand
repeat
partnership.
And then forgot to turn it
off.
off.
Johnson.
Rob, me, you, and Andrew order on Amazon every day. It don't even allow you to order 1,000 bottles.
He just probably gets the delivery every month and just
like
forgot to turn it off.
Yeah.
Just probably gets like 50 bottles.
I mean,
a
that
month.
happened to me with paper towels, but
or water.
But I had or water. Maybe I have like 50 extra things of water, but 1,000 bottles of lube of
baby oil.
And how many dildos they say he had? Hundreds.
I guess those were on auto order too.
Look, there's nothing wrong with being a freak, okay? I have a drawer at my house right now. It's not like this, but there is a bell that says, ring me for a blowjob. Okay, look, so what? They sell it. If you click it, you're not going to necessarily get one, but there's nothing wrong with having it. Now, I have an issue with my housekeeper cleaning it off here and there, and Yvonne is messy. You know, shout out to Yvonne. But I don't think there's anything wrong with being a freak. In fact, being a freak is natural if you're a human, okay? But being this kind of freak, please stop conflating everybody in the world. I feel so much better now that I got this off my chest because everywhere I go, you all want to ask me, what were they doing at the Diddy party? What was you doing at the Diddy party? I was dancing to Ciroc, okay? And yes, TD Jakes was there. He just wasn't bent over singing the Holy Spirit, okay? You guys want me to tell you that TD Jakes was clapping them cheeks over there and that Meek Mill was somehow swinging from French Montana's balls. No, I don't know that was happening, okay? I don't know that wasn't. I just don't know that was. But I just want us all to get back to normal. Can we please just bring the People's Court into this and just have the People's Court monitor this situation? And you better let cameras in the court. Okay, I'm done with this. Goodbye. You know, before we go on, I have to tell you, the YSL RICO case is getting absurd. Did you see that yesterday? We posted on Hollywood Unlocked. This isn't even a story, but I just talk about the court system. That judge is so furious with what's happening with the YSL RICO case and Young Thug because they are screwing it up big time, chasing this unicorn of a case, or maybe the people there, the criminals, are more smarter than the prosecution, whatever. I'm predicting right now, Young Thug is getting out of jail. They're going to have a mistrial. Or have a hung jury, and he's going to be released from jail. And Young Thug, you are invited to come right over here to our Young Couch and talk about the Young jail and all the Young drama that you went through. But, I've been watching it. It's such an entertaining thing. But this man has been in jail for years. So you can actually be like this. Like a Diddy could be in jail for years going through this.
Yeah.
I guess.
Is that fair?
Not for Young Thug, I don't think.
I mean,
Free him.
If you're on trial for it, I don't know. That's a tough.
Well, should Diddy be given bail?
No. Lock him up.
No, because he has wealth and access to flee this situation. Mm-hmm. He has a jet. He has money. He could leave. He could go to
take his passports and put him on an ankle bracelet.
No, but I would say in this situation, they're saying he is a threat to society. Which if he's violated this many people in that way, I think he should stay. I
think it's different. I think they think he'll kill himself. So he won't be able to be,
or have other people killed,
powers, yeah,
or have people who could testify against him killed. Like all of these things are accessible to someone who is free.
And Hollywood, I know, is shaking in their boots of like whose names are gonna be dropped. It's about to crumble.
You ain't finna drop mine, because y'all kept me outside by the barbecue pit. I wasn't allowed in the house, so I'm good. And the one time that I did go in was during watching the Grammys. And this is so bad. I had been talking bad about Usher. Not talking bad about him, but I'd been talking about him in the news. And Usher walked in, and we had a whole conversation. Usher was grown. We had a grown conversation. Lots of people were in there, and all the lights were on. Just want to say that. All right, enough of that. Let's get into the 2024 election updates. There's a lot going on. Again, this is the stuff that you're not paying attention to that you actually should, because Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are going head-to-head, no pun intended, for the number one spot in the U.S. federal government. Now, on the last episode, we recapped Donald Trump being targeted in a second assassination attempt. They keep trying to kill him, and then blaming Kamala and Joe Biden for it. Since then, VP Harris has accepted CNN's invitation for another presidential debate against Trump on October 23rd. But Trump obviously has declined because, she kind of killed him in the first one. No pun intended. He claimed that he's done 2 debates, already one with her and one with Biden, and that it's just too late because the voters have already decided. Now, instead, Trump left the next debate to his and Harris's running mates, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, who once didn't like him and said that he was horrible for the country, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, which we'll get into in just a bit. Well, before the VP debate, Trump admitted that if he and Vance don't win in November, that he will not run again in 2028, claiming, I don't see myself running again. Well, he thinks he's going to be successful, and, we'll let you decide. Well, he might be onto something, though, because he's got federal cases against him carrying jail time that are pending the election happening, and then they'll get back to that. It's interesting how they're going to put some charges on hold until he gets to his election. And on top of that, a Haitian nonprofit has since filed criminal charges against him and Vance for their Springfield, Ohio comments. And if you don't remember what he said there about the Haitians, listen.
Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to respond.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so? That would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border.
First, let me respond as to the
Please.
rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. And it happened 3.5 years ago. And what's going on here, you're going to end up in World War III, just to go into another subject. What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is the
people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from television.
But the people
I'm
on
taking
television
it from the city
saying their
manager.
dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme. You know, this is, I think, one of the reasons why in this election I actually have the endorsement of 200 Republicans who have formerly worked with President Bush, Mitt Romney, and John McCain, including the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney and Congress member Liz Cheney. And if you want to really know the inside track on who the former president is, if he didn't make it clear already, just ask people who have worked with him.
I can't stop hearing the song they made out of that last statement, and that going viral has probably made it more difficult for the migrants from Haiti who are experiencing real hate there. You know, they've had bomb threats and all of that, because after the comments that Trump made, Guerline Joseph, the leader of the nonprofit organization Haitian Bridge Alliance, went on to file those charges in Ohio. Now, the complaint states that various threats in the city over the past few weeks have put a strain on local resources and city services, and that Trump and Vance's allegations led to harassment of individuals in the local Haitian community. The complaint demands that both Trump and Vance face prosecution for their actions. Now, this issue was also brought up during the first and only vice presidential debate this week, and Senator J.D. Vance refused to walk back the comments or apologize for his comments. Take a listen.
Now, Governor Walz brought up the community of Springfield, and he's very worried about the things that I've said in Springfield. Look, in Springfield, Ohio, and in communities all across this country, you've got schools that are overwhelmed. You've got hospitals that are overwhelmed. You have got housing that is totally unaffordable because we brought in millions of illegal immigrants to compete with Americans for scarce homes. The people that I'm most worried about in Springfield, Ohio, are the American citizens who have had their lives destroyed by Kamala Harris's open border. It is a disgrace, Tim. And I actually think, I agree with you. I think you want to solve this problem, but I don't think that Kamala Harris does.
Thank you, Governor. And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn out of the economy. Thank you,
Margaret. The rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own leadership.
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The CBP app has not been on the books since 1990. Kamala Harris created Margaret.
Gentlemen, the audience can't hear you because your mics are cut. We have so much we want to get to. Thank you for explaining.
Vance also sparred with Walz further about immigration and also about abortion. Take a listen.
Governor Walz, after Roe versus Wade was overturned, you signed a bill into law that made Minnesota one of the least restrictive states in the nation when it comes to abortion. Former President Trump said in the last debate that you believe abortion, quote, in the 9th month is absolutely fine. Yes or no? Is that what you support? I'll give you 2 minutes.
That's not what the bill says. But look, this issue is what's on everyone's mind. Donald Trump put this all into motion. He brags about how great it was that he put the judges in and overturned Roe versus Wade, 52 years of personal autonomy. And then he tells us, oh, we send it to the states. It's a beautiful thing. Amanda Zaworski would disagree with you on it's a beautiful thing. A young bride in Texas waiting for their child at 18 weeks. She has a complication, a tear in the membrane. She needs to go in. The medical care at that point needs to be decided by the doctor. And that would have been an abortion. But in Texas, that would have put them in legal jeopardy. She went home, got sepsis, nearly dies, and now she may have difficulty having children. Or in Kentucky, Hadley Duvall, a 12-year-old child raped and impregnated by her stepfather. Those are horrific. Now, when God asked about that, Senator Vance said 2 wrongs don't make a right. There is no right in this. So in Minnesota, what we did was restore Roe versus Wade. We made sure that we put women in charge of their health care. But look, this is not where, if you don't know Amanda or a Hadley, you soon will. Their Project 2025 is going to have a registry of pregnancies. It's going to make it more difficult, if not impossible, to get contraception and limit access, if not eliminate access to infertility treatments. For so many of you out there listening, me included, infertility treatments are why I have a child. That's nobody else's business, but those things are being proposed. And the catch-all on this is, well, the states will decide what's right for Texas might not be right for Washington. That's not how this works. This is basic human right. We have seen maternal mortality skyrocket in Texas, outpacing many other countries in the world. This is about health care. In Minnesota, we are ranked first in health care for a reason. We trust women. We trust doctors.
Senator, do you want to respond to the governor's claim? Will you create a federal pregnancy monitoring agency?
No, Nora, certainly we won't. And I want to talk about this issue because I know a lot of Americans care about it, and I know a lot of Americans don't agree with everything that I've ever said on this topic. And, you know, I grew up in a working class family in a neighborhood where I knew a lot of young women who had unplanned pregnancies and decided to terminate those pregnancies because they feel like they didn't have any other options. And, you know, one of them is actually very dear to me. And I know she's watching tonight, and I love you. And she told me something a couple years ago that she felt like if she hadn't had that abortion, that it would have destroyed her life because she was in an abusive relationship. And I think that what I take from that as a Republican who proudly wants to protect innocent life in this country, who proudly wants to protect the vulnerable, is that my party, we've got to do so much better of a job at earning the American people's trust back on this issue where they frankly just don't trust us. And I think that's one of the things that Donald Trump and I are endeavoring to do. I want us as a Republican Party to be pro-family in the fullest sense of the word. I want us to support fertility treatments. I want us to make it easier for moms to afford to have babies. I want it to make it easier for young families to afford a home so they can afford a place to raise that family. And I think there's so much that we can do on the public policy front just to give women more options. Now, of course, Donald Trump has been very clear that on the abortion policy specifically, that we have a big country and it's diverse. And California has a different viewpoint on this this than Georgia. Georgia has a different viewpoint from Arizona, and the proper way to handle this, as messy as democracy sometimes is to let voters make these decisions, let the individual states make their abortion policy. And I think that's what makes the most sense in a very big, a very diverse, and let's be honest, sometimes a very, very messy and divided country.
Governor, would you like to respond and also answer the question about restrictions?
Yeah, well, the question got asked, and Donald Trump made the accusation that wasn't true about Minnesota. Well, let me tell you about this idea that there's diverse states. There's a young woman named Amber Thurman. She happened to be in Georgia, a restrictive state. Because of that, she had to travel a long distance to North Carolina to try and get her care. Amber Thurman died in that journey back and forth. The fact of the matter is, how can we as a nation say that your life and your rights, as basic as the right to control your own body, is determined on geography? There's a very real chance, had Amber Thurman lived in Minnesota, she would be alive today. That's why the restoration of Roe versus Wade. When you listen to Vice President Harris talk about this subject and you hear me talk about it, you hear us talking exactly the same. Donald Trump is trying to figure out how to get the political right of this. I agree with a lot of what Senator Vance said about what's happening. His running mate, though, does not, and that's the problem.
Aren't you tired of politicians controlling what women do with their bodies? I mean, as a woman, when you hear you all talked about like this in the world of politics, how does it feel to you?
If I was even thinking about that yesterday, because hearing the female moderators ask two white guys like what they think, I'm like, this is just given like that. It's like we're on like a platter, and it's just like, what should a woman do with it? It's just so weird. I'm like, I don't get why people are politicking bodies, period, girls or guys. Like, it's just weird.
And it's so crazy to me because the Republican Party is really trying to position this as if women are just blanketly using abortion as birth control. But there's so many other circumstances where women require abortions, where like if a baby is stillborn in the womb, or if, you know, the fetal tissue doesn't extract all the way and it becomes something that could make her sick. Like, it's not just about birth control. And it's so crazy that we're having this conversation. Let a woman and a doctor have the conversation about what's best for them.
And stop using faith and religion as weapons to weaponize the decision of what a woman does with her body. As a man, as a gay man, I don't want people telling me who I can love and who I can't love, who I can marry or not marry. And as a woman, as a man, I don't think a woman should have me telling her what she should do with her body. It just, to me, fundamentally doesn't make sense that we are politicizing what people can do with their bodies or not with their bodies. So you would force somebody to have a child that they are pregnant with by their father and raise for the rest of their life and have to deal with that and be reminded of that and take care of that child because of what you believe your God said. It's craziness to me. Yet most of you cheating on your women or driving your 9-year-olds to Diddy house.
Hello.
So again, you know, I'm just overhearing about this privilege that people believe they have to control what people do with their bodies or not do. The two also address Donald Trump's history with the Affordable Care Act and his concepts of a plan. And the comment during his debate with Kamala Harris. Now, for those of you that know Healthcare Unlocked, this hits home for us because we actually have a company and an initiative to help people who are low income get access to $0 affordable care, which was something that Barack Obama designed during his presidency, and we have fought for since then. Well, he commented on Trump and what he had to say about it. Take a listen.
One of the top problems facing Americans is the high cost of health care. Senator Vance, at the last presidential debate, former President Trump was asked about replacing the Affordable Care Act. In response, he said, "I have concepts of a plan." Since then, Senator, you've talked about changing how chronically ill Americans get health insurance. Can you explain how that would work? And can you guarantee that Americans with pre-existing conditions won't pay more? I'll give you 2 minutes.
Well, of course, we're going to cover Americans with pre-existing conditions. In fact, a lot of my family members have gotten health care. I believe, you know, members of my family actually got private health insurance, at least for the first time, switched off of Medicaid onto private insurance for the first time under Donald Trump's leadership. And I think that, you know, a lot of people have criticized this concepts of a plan remark. Look, it's very simple common sense. I think as Tim Walz knows from 12 years in Congress, you're not going to propose a 900-page bill standing on a debate stage. It would bore everybody to tears, and it wouldn't didn't actually mean anything because part of this is the give and take of bipartisan negotiation. Now, when Donald Trump was actually president, and again, he has a record to be proud of, prescription drugs fell in 2018 for the first time in a very long time. Under Kamala Harris's leadership, prescription drugs are up about 7%. Under Donald Trump's entire 4 years, they were up about 1.5%. He introduced pricing transparency. Think about healthcare. You go into a hospital, you try to buy something, and nobody knows what it actually costs. That price transparency will actually give American consumers a little bit more choice and will also drive down costs. And we talked about, the reinsurance regulations is what I was talking about. Look, Donald Trump has said that if we allow states to experiment a little bit on how to cover both the chronically ill but the non-chronically ill, it's not just a plan. He actually implemented some of these regulations when he was president of the United States. And I think you can make a really good argument that it salvaged Obamacare, which was doing disastrously until Donald Trump came along. And I think this is an important point about President Trump. Of course, you don't have to agree with everything that President Trump has ever said or ever done. But when Obamacare was crushing under the weight of its own regulatory burden and health care costs, Donald Trump could have destroyed the program. Instead, he worked in a bipartisan way to ensure that Americans had access to affordable care. It's not perfect, of course, and there's so much more that we can do, but I think that Donald Trump has earned the right to put in place some better health care policies. He's earned it because he did it successfully the first time.
Governor?
All right, here's where being an old guy gives you some history. I was there at the creation of the...
But you created a 900-page bill called Project 2025. Let's be clear. You guys love 900 pages, and it's because you know people don't read. And people don't want to read. It ain't like you put it on an audiobook. You put 900 pages together to bury people in the details. Well, the devil's there, and that's why I think you came to do the devil's work. When we talk about America Affordable Care Act, just break down for people the work that you do every day and leading our team in Miami about affordable care and access to health care.
Yeah, so we have about 25 agents who are actively on the phone right now. We're looking to scale that to 50 because we want to have as much impact as we possibly can. But our agents are on the phone speaking with people across the country who are just realizing that they have access to $0 or affordable health care. And throughout the course of the year, they don't have to wait for open enrollment, because if they have a special condition, like they just got married, they just had a baby, they live below the poverty level for the country, they can access health care year around. And then they can go to the hospital without having to worry about breaking the bank. They can go to the hospital even if they have cancer or a pre-existing condition, and they can get medical coverage that doesn't force them to go into debt. So this is extremely important work. And the crazy part is he sat there and lied and covered up the fact that Trump tried to remove ACA the entire time he was in office. He put forth legislation to remove Obamacare just because he wanted to get rid of the legacy Obama put in place. So it's crazy that he sat up there and blatantly lied to the American people.
Yeah. Now that I'm in politics, I see why they win, right? It's really about who could spend the most money, who's going to be funded by what special interest, who's going to move what agenda. But everything that's happening is moving us further away from where we should be. There are people, my friend from Switzerland is here right now visiting, and he said to me that everybody around the world is looking at America like we are crazy, because the fact that you have Canada where you can get free health care. You have countries where they make it a right to get access to health care. We're here, we're politicking over whether you can survive if you have money. And if you don't, you will die. The other day I was streaming on an app, or I went on an app and I was looking at people streaming because I like to keep my ears close to the street. And this person, as soon as I came in, said, "Jason Lee, pay for my teeth." And I thought it was funny that they were saying that. He went on to say, "You got health care unlocked, pay for it because you got all that money." Not understanding he's probably eligible to get dental and health care under our plan. Mm-hmm. So Jason Lee can't fix your teeth. They needed to be fixed too, by the way, I ain't gonna lie. But you can actually get it, and people don't know. We'll give you more information on how you can get access to this healthcare soon. We should create a text blast number where we can say it to people, and people can text it, and then we can have our agents call them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe that's an idea. Well, back to the debate. Vance also got checked for previously calling Trump America's Hitler. Because remember, before he was running with Trump, he used to bash him. Don't believe me? Take a listen.
Senator Vance, in 2016, you called your running mate Donald Trump unfit for the nation's highest office, and you said he could be America's Hitler. I know you've been asked many times, and you've said you regret those comments and explained you then voted for Donald Trump in 2020. But the Washington Post reported new messages last week in which you also disparaged Trump's economic record while he was president, writing to someone in 2020, quote, Trump thoroughly failed to deliver his economic populism. You're now his running mate, and you've shifted many of your policy stances to align with his. If you become vice president, why should Americans trust that you will give Donald Trump the advice he needs to hear and not just the advice he wants to hear? You have 2 minutes.
Well, first of all, Margaret, because I've always been open. And sometimes, of course, I've disagreed with the president, but I've also been extremely open about the fact that I was wrong about Donald Trump. I was wrong, first of all, because I believed some of the media stories that turned out to be dishonest fabrications of his record. But most importantly, Donald Trump delivered for the American people. Rising wages, rising take-home pay, an economy that worked for normal Americans, a secure southern border, a lot of things, frankly, that I didn't think he'd be able to deliver on. And yeah, when you screw up, when you misspeak, when you get something wrong and you change your mind, you ought to be honest with the American people about it. It's one of the reasons, Margaret, why I've done so many interviews is because I think it's important to actually explain to the American people where I come down on the issues and what changed. Now, you pointed out the messages from 2020. Margaret, I've been extremely consistent that I think there were a lot of things that we could have done better in the Trump administration the first round if Congress was doing its job. I strongly believe, and I've been a United States senator, that Congress is not just a high-class debating society. It's not just a forum for senators and congressmen to whine about problems. It's a forum to govern. So there were a lot of things on the border, on tariffs, for example, where I think that we could have done so much more if the Republican Congress and the Democrats in Congress had been a little bit better about how they govern the country. They were so obsessed with impeaching Donald Trump, they couldn't actually govern.
Interesting how you flipped there. I was talking about Diddy again. Goodness. Well, besides J.D. Vance and Tim Walz's back and forth, Donald Trump continues his own jousting with Kamala Harris at his rallies and online. He's not only still attacking her racial identity and intelligence, because remember, he keeps questioning whether or not she's black, but he tried to claim that she was getting down with Diddy at his alleged freak-offs. He reposted and deleted this photo, which is a fake image of Kamala with Diddy. Take a look. Well, now, that was a doctored photo of Kamala with her ex-boyfriend, talk show host Montel Williams, and his daughter Ashley in 2001. Don't believe me? We got that receipt. Take a look. Well, clearly, that wasn't accurate, that he was saying that she was at an alleged freak-off. So do we want a president that lies, that shows you that he's going to lie, that's telling you in your face that's going to lie? Because I won't lie. Damn, that's weird. Talking about lying and not lying. I won't lie and tell you that as I go around, I'm hearing more people talk about Kamala now. Like, I think there's a real fight here for democracy. And do you feel like the tide has kind of turned where before it was like everybody was Trump, and then now the people are actually saying, okay, you know what, we're tired of Trump?
I do. I think at the debate between Vice President Harris and Donald Trump, I think what she was able to effectively do is change the opinion of a lot of people who were undecided, which was what she essentially needed to do at that debate. Like, if you're a crazy hardcore Trump supporter, or if you're like diehard Kamala Harris fan, you're probably not going to get flipped, but it's those people who are in the middle who are undecided, and I think she did an effective job, and we can feel that energy.
And this should be really less about, do you like Kamala or not? Do you like Donald Trump or not? This has to be like, who actually tells you they have a plan to move you forward? Because that's what I want to hear. And not just an economic plan, which is a real thing, because even those of us with money are feeling it. We talk about on our team meetings, the industries are changing, the economy is changing, and we all feel it, right? But we need somebody that has a really good economic plan. That can't be the only thing, though, because the economy, gas prices, things are going to change throughout the years as things get better, more jobs, as things, whatever. But like, who's going to make us feel safe? I'm watching the news yesterday where bombs flying into cities like Tel Aviv, which could you imagine bombs flying over into Los Angeles or New York or Chicago or even Stockton? You're just sitting there in Stockton. You already got potholes, dead dogs, no police. Now you got bombs coming in. That city's not even prepared for an attack like that. Well, we got to have somebody that can actually make sure that we are protected as a country. Well, as mentioned, Trump recently came for Vice President Harris's intelligence at a rally in Wisconsin. He claimed both she and Biden are mentally impaired and that he has a much better beach body than Biden. Don't believe me? Listen.
That's why I'm doing this. I tell you what, I had a good life before I did this. Nobody was shooting at me. I had a hell of a life. Oh, those locations, those beautiful. I could have been sunbathing on the beach. You have never seen a body so beautiful. Much better than Sleepy Joe. No, but think of it. Here's a guy, he's president. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he goes to the beach. And then he's got a lot of cameras, you know. And somebody told him he looks good in a bathing suit. And he doesn't know, you know, what's he, 82? It's hard, generally speaking, to look great. But the mind can be good. You know, I know so many people in their 90s that are sharp. He's not one of them. But think, any guy that can lie down and in front of cameras fall asleep, stone cold out, and he's the president of the United States, and it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He's laying on the beach and he's sleeping. I say, how the hell do you fall asleep in front of the fake news media? But see, he can do it. If I did that, I would be. But because they protect him, he can do it. But he's out cold. And in certain ways, I respect it. I wish I had that ability to fall asleep like that. I would love that ability. I'd get a lot more sleep. That would be a good thing. But he goes to sleep, stone cold in front of the media. I never saw anything like it. He's sleeping. I say, what the hell? How do you do that? And you know, honestly, our people don't want to see him at the beach on a Tuesday sleeping. We really don't want to see that. Kamala is mentally impaired. If a Republican did what she did, if a Republican did what she did, that Republican would be impeached and removed from office, and rightfully so, for high crimes and misdemeanors. That would be high crimes and misdemeanors. Think of it. 13,099 murderers convicted of murder, not like convicted of murder. Some of the worst murders you've ever seen. They're all in our country now, every one of them. And I've been saying this for 3 years, and the fake news has been saying, well, you don't know that. Well, now we know it. They've never released a list like this. Not just on this, they've never done it. Over the years, they've never done it. She let in, and that's not even mentioning the rapists, the gang members, the drug dealers, the child predators, and the traffickers in women, mostly women. Joe Biden became mentally impaired. Kamala was born that way. Yeah. She was born that way. And if you think about it, only a mentally disabled person could have allowed this to happen to our country.
Where was Jasmine Crockett?
I was just thinking about
Yes. I mean, I guess that T-shirt applies to him too.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of lit though, because that actually tells Jasmine that he's listening to her, right? You go, Jasmine. Well, and if Trump and the rest of the world attacking VP Harris' racial identity wasn't enough, Janet Jackson even joined in. Now, just be very clear, Kamala's dad is a black man from Jamaica and her mother is Indian. She said this many times. We all know this. Well, in an interview with The Guardian, Janet said the election will end in mayhem regardless of who wins and that she heard Kamala Harris is not black but Indian. And when the interviewer told her that she's both, Janet said her father was white and she was told that they discovered her father was white. And Janet was dragged for total filth. And she was called out by a friend to the show, D.L. Hughley. Now, before I get to the dragon, let me just say that Janet lives a very isolated life in London. She doesn't even live here. And her brother Tito, you know, the Jackson that was always made fun of growing up. Tito, he was trolled lots. Tito passed away right the week before. And so Janet being tucked away in London, grieving her brother's death, made her say something that was clearly unintelligent because she wasn't well informed. But I learned that Janet doesn't even be on social media. She doesn't even know what's going on in the world because she's so rich and removed. Baby, she got drugged for pure filth. And it was D.L. Hughley, friend to the show, who I won't lie. Janet, I love you. I'm telling you right now, I love you. And Rob loves you too. We all love you. But we are going to laugh at your expense because this was such a hard reading for filth that everything was done after this. D.L. Hughley heard what she said. And also, D.L. was at the, DNC. He's been supporting Kamala. He interviewed Kamala. Well, D.L. said this. Janet Jackson's interview sounded like a Trump rally. FYI, it's a little ironic to question whether someone is black while you're breathing through the nose of a white woman. I ain't even gonna read the rest because ain't nothing else to be said after that. When you saw that, what did you think?
I just had to lay down.
Is it right to drag somebody like a Janet Jackson, though? She is an icon.
Listen, like you said, if you don't know something, don't say something. So maybe this will be her lesson to not speak on things she does not have.
Janet don't even want to talk to nobody anymore after this. But I mean, is it fair to drag her like that?
I think sometimes you got to be dragged so you learn your lesson.
Especially this year, I feel like nobody's off limits.
Love Janet, but
everybody's getting something.
Candace Owens felt otherwise, and she stood firm on it when a critic clapped back. Here's a photo of Candace defending Janet. Good for Janet. Kamala Harris is literally not black. Her dad is Indian but grew up in Jamaica. Kamala now avoids the questions of her ethnicity altogether. Candace, I think, is coming on the show soon, so we'll just wait and talk to Candace then. Soon enough, a statement was released by someone claiming to be Janet's manager, Mo El-Mazari. Mo claimed Janet's comments were based on misinformation. Let me show you what they said. They said she's deeply respects Vice President Kamala Harris and her accomplishments as a black and Indian woman. Janet apologizes for any confusion caused and acknowledges the importance of accurate representation in public discourse. We appreciate the opportunity to address this and will remain committed to promoting unity. Well, now check this out. Variety soon updated that a rep for Janet Jackson told them that the apology statement issued on behalf of Janet was not by her manager. Variety claimed that Janet has been under the management of her brother for many years, and that the two have been unavailable for any statements as they're mourning the loss of her older brother Tito, as I said. Now, days later, Kamala Harris responded to all the racial attacks against her on All the Smoke podcast, and this is what she said.
I don't listen to it. Okay. I'm really clear about who I am, and if anybody else is not, they need to go through their own level of therapy. That's not my issue.
Their issues, right?
My mother was very clear. She was raising two black girls to be two proud black women, and that was never. It was never a question. You know, it's funny because over the years, journalists, some, not most, will want to talk about it. And I say, okay, if you want to have this conversation, I'm prepared to have it, but sit down and get comfortable for a few hours. If you want to start talking about race in America, you want to talk about the 1/8 rule?
A drop.
You want to talk about what it means in terms of who you are perceived to be and the impact that can have on the rest of your life, regardless of who you actually are in terms of your God-given capacity and the rights that you have and should have. So, I don't mess with that. I think that's other people trying to figure some stuff out that and they
got some issues.
They got to deal with it themselves.
She black, y'all. In today's society, I don't know how many people are claiming to be black that ain't black. Although with the culture, a lot of you rappers who want to be black because it's cool for the culture, it's cool to be black. Black folks, in my opinion, be some of the hardest critics of Kamala Harris. And this is why I think they're doing it, because they're trying to gaslight a base of black people that they think they're speaking to believe that she's not black. And also as somebody who's mixed race, I'm tired of defending being black. Y'all wear me out. So if I come and say I'm now a white man, are y'all gonna believe I'm a white man? I'm Spanish. You gonna believe I'm whatever I look like I am? Those of us who are proud to be black are tired of defending our blackness. And I love the fact that Kamala says she ain't got no time for it. It is what it is. Period. Be done. Okay, back to Jesus.
Here we go.
So I want to preface what I'm going to say with, please take back the fact that I had dinner with Rihanna. Please take back the fact that I know Rihanna and Law. Please take back all of that, because I'm literally reporting this as if I know nobody. I just have eyes like you. And another disclaimer, these are all my comments that reflect me. Well, Naomi Campbell is finally breaking her silence on, the rumors that were swirling around her and Rihanna in this beef that they allegedly have. I'll say allegedly.
Allegedly.
Because things got really heated. Now with social media, everybody started dragging Naomi. Naomi's been dealing with all of the stuff swirling around her after she threw shade at Rihanna. And I'll say allegedly.
Allegedly.
And Law allegedly throwing shade
Allegedly.
too. I broke this down on the last show. If you didn't see it, you got to go back and take a look at it. Well, now Naomi is sounding off on this alleged beef with Rihanna. Now, Naomi, what I'm going to say to you is sometimes you just don't comment on shit because you never know when it can open up another door. And the worst thing you can do is say something isn't real and then somewhere it come out that it was. Rihanna has been invited to the Jason Lee show, and so are you. Well, things all began with a video showing Rihanna walking past the model and Law at this fashion show during New York Fashion Week. If you missed and it wasn't New York Fashion Week. This was in Milan, right? Mm-hmm. Wasn't this in Milan? Well, they were at Fashion Week. Well, anyway, Google where that was. If you missed that part of the show from last week, I got it for you. Take a look. Beautiful. Well, after we covered that, and Law Roach addressing the rumors of shading Rihanna, Naomi Campbell is now finally breaking her silence. Speaking with the New York Times, Naomi fired back at the rumors of this Rihanna beef. Now, baby, take a look. She said, "I'm not about to let the world pitch two black women against each other." Miss Campbell said, "We are two women with two children. We are mothers." She meant pit. Not pitch. Well, either way, Naomi does have other more pressing things. Well, okay, let me start there. All I will say is she said her side, and we all know with everything there's her side, Rihanna's side, and then somewhere in there the truth. They say the truth will set you free. I hope that Naomi has been freed from allegations. It looked like people in the comments were saying that, oh, don't pit two women against each other. Remember, there were rumors back in the day or allegations that
allegedly
Naomi hated Rihanna because she was dating someone that Naomi used to be involved with. Now, I don't dig in this woman's relationships. I only talk to her about Rocky because, I love him too, and I love both of them, and I love the kids. I love everything, the whole family. So I don't know the history between these two because we don't sit around and talk about people at the water cooler or do viral TikToks. I could have did a viral TikTok, huh? That would have been funny.
That would have been.
Damn, I missed a moment to go viral, huh?
At dinner.
No, at dinner I could have been like, this is so demure. Mindful. I could have did that. Yeah. They would have knew that was shade, huh? Oh, it's Jason Lee. I mean, damn.
But you're not a sneak disser.
But neither is Law Roach. That's the thing that makes this complicated because Law will go for your neck, but you can't go for the neck that's covered in Fenty Beauty.
Hello.
Well, either way, anyway, there was rumors that Naomi was really mad at Rihanna for being involved with somebody that I think she either knew or was involved with or something. Well, either way, you can't outright disrespect Rihanna because she's a force. And the blowback from that video was crazy. They drugged them for filth. But at the same time, you still got to stand on who you are. And everybody knows what she did to Tyra Banks, allegedly. She told Tyra, pack it up. Well, anyway, we'll find out what happened some point when somebody's sitting on the couch and I can ask the question. Well, Naomi, on the other hand, has a lot more pressing things to worry about because now she's been banned from her own charity. Karma to hit her like a boomerang. Okay, her charity Fashion for Relief. Now, according to a watchdog investigation, the charity, which closed its doors in March, allegedly mismanaged a significant portion of the funds raised during high-profile events and other things over the last 10 years. The Guardian reported that Naomi has been prohibited from serving as a charity trustee for the next 5 years, allegedly. Now, allegedly, tens of thousands of dollars were spent on Naomi's extravagant hotel accommodations, spa treatments, personal security, cigarettes, and other expenses. Their investigation also revealed that Naomi's fellow trustee, Bianca Helmich, received hundreds of thousands of dollars in unauthorized payments from the charity. Now, as a result, Helmich has been banned from serving as a charity trustee for 9 years. And another trustee, Veronica Chow, has also received a ban for hers, and that's for 10 years. Well, Naomi addressed her 5-year ban with AP News, and this is what she said.
Just found out today about the findings, and I'm extremely concerned, and we are investigating on our side. As I was not in control of my charity, I put the control in the hands of a legal lawyer, and so we are investigating to find out what and how. As everything I do and every penny I ever raise goes towards charities.
I don't see you staying at the Best Western. And I see you rolling over a bottle of glass wine and asking for some cigarettes. And I see it being convenient that it's just charged while you're there doing charity work. Because sometimes it's easy to write everything off under charity when it ain't. I'm not saying that you did, but, you know, we know that you're known for the coins and then you got them. So it may be like more misappropriation, like spending like extravagance than really what you should be doing. But at the other hand, when you're Naomi Campbell and you go to a meeting for your nonprofit, shouldn't you stay where you would normally stay? I mean, you have to be safe. You have to be protected. Your life is what you are. You don't take an oath of poverty when you step up to help people. So again, the devil's in the details. I can't wait to see. Do you think this was karma, like a karmic reaction because you shaded the Fenty queen?
I don't think it was karma. I don't think karma would hit that hard for that little shady moment. And I think also maybe she was kind of pulled into a moment of shade, and I don't know if she fully understood what was happening.
What you gonna do for charity now? We love you, Naomi. Law, get your girl. Riri, hey. All right, enough with that. Boosie. Boosie. You need to become the Dr. Phil of the hood. Because at this point, you are more concerned with the trans than I am, and I'm in the LGBTQ+, okay? Well, Boosie's getting dragged again for his views on the LGBTQ+ community, and this time he said some controversial comments about his daughter, Ivana's sexuality. Now, this is Boosie and his daughter, Ivana, when they were in better terms, okay? Very colorful there. She goes by the rap moniker Poison Ivy. So convenient. Well, during a live interview with Young Miami's Carisha Please podcast over at Revolt World, Boosie got checked. Take a look.
Boosie, why you always in gay people business? Look. Why you always in gay people business?
Can I answer?
Yes.
I don't really be in gay people business. I just speak on what I don't agree with. You know, I don't wake up thinking about gay people. I mean, I just might say something every once in a while that I don't like. And as a voice, I have that right. I have that right for me. I have that right for the sons that I'm raising up to be men. I have that right. If I don't like somebody doing something that a woman does, that is a woman trait, I'm going to have something to say about it, and you might as well get used to it. What is a woman trait? Your hair, your nails, your toes. That is a woman trait that's been a trait since the 70s, 60s, 80s, 90s. What we looked at women as, she got some beautiful nails. So when me, as a person, listen to these people talking about slanging iron and shit, but you won't paint your nails and do all this other shit, you're double dipping. You're right, I'm a Southern Baptist. I feel a certain way about a lot. I was raised a certain way.
Yeah, so I think that's like, we was in church, but I think that when you grow, you get older, you wiser, everybody is different in life. Nobody's the same. You gotta love people for who they are.
I do. I mean, I love people. I have gay people in my family. I just don't condone the issue. It's not coming. I'm raising a generation.
So when your daughter came out and told you she was gay,
it was nothing. I mean, she still can't bring her situation to our house. My daughter is grown.
Well, why? She's grown.
Because I don't want it to contaminate her others. It's a generation we raising. I don't want her to get to contaminate it to her other 6, 7 sisters who look up to her. I want them to bring me grandchildren the right way.
Yeah, Boosie crazy.
If I want grandchildren the right way, that's what I'm going to stand on. You know, if I don't want my other little girl to look at that and say, what's that, Daddy?
Contaminated.
To somebody she looks up to, it's not going to come around. My grandpa didn't let it. My daddy didn't let it. And I didn't let it. I just hope the one under me, when they take this throne, they don't let it. Because that's not what our family believes.
Contaminated is crazy. What do you think?
I think that's insane. And I think him essentially promoting generational trauma and using that as an excuse to continue to perpetuate trauma is also crazy. But, you know, I'm glad that people in the audience weren't just accepting it and cheering it on. And maybe this is karma. When you feel that strongly, that much hate for something, you end up having to deal with it in real time, like your daughter is gay.
I just would be so scared if Boosie or like a Charleston White was my dad, because I'm like, I know when you get into interviews or do something, you're gonna say anything about me, and it could be disrespectful.
And I don't think they're thinking of the impact. I mean, we had D.L. Hughley here speaking to him a minute ago, who actually experienced real life trauma to his relationship with his daughter as a result of things that he said was a joke, and you know he didn't mean any harm by it. But you don't really know how your words can be harmful. And I think Boosie's missing an opportunity here to really embrace his daughter, learn from her, and open up to a whole new world of people who love his music. I'm gay, and I went and saw him perform at the Grammy event, and I will tell you, he had it more lit than anybody in there. Even though I don't know all the songs, I was like moved by his performance. And Boosie and I have been going back and forth on him coming on the show. And I told Boosie, I told you I'm gonna be your best gay friend. But when you say stuff like that, you have to understand the impact that it has, especially when people who follow you then go out and act on the stuff that you say. Because you may not go and hurt a trans person, but somebody that you gaslight with these comments will, and it could be your daughter. And that, I think, is the thing that you're not thinking about. Boosie immediately caught backlash, and Ivana released an emotional response. Here's what she had to say.
The whole world know that. And it been about 2 years now that I'll be quiet. I keep quiet on the shit. I wouldn't say nothing. You know, I just go with the flow. I did everything in my power to understand that this is my father, regardless. Like, I'm gonna accept him and love him for who he is. So, I just seen he recently did an interview with Carisha, and he used the word contaminating. And putting my siblings in it with that. If you know me, this shit make me so mad. If you know me, I love and respect my siblings with everything in me. And they respect me and love me with everything in them. When you getting on their nerves, I'm who they call. My siblings, most of my siblings, teenagers. Teenagers you don't want to let grow up. But okay. Another thing. You keep speaking on me gay. You keep doing interviews and I don't say nothing, right? The first ever interview you did, you said you found out I was gay, that I like girls and I had a girlfriend from a picture that went viral. That was a lie. I let that slide. I never addressed it. You found out I was gay a year before that. The incident happened in Jamaica when I was a gay B-word, when you called me a gay B-word. So if the world really knew all the things and the hurtful things you told me before and I forgave you, you wouldn't even understand. And no matter how you feel, at the end of the day, nigga, I'm your blood. I am your daughter.
She's pretty, by the way. Beautiful skin. And I always find it weird when people talk to social media, but then when you feel like you have nobody to talk to and you got to get it out, and you feel like you're bottling up all this pain and this anger because your father, who is famous and who's magnifying this hate towards you as a person for things you can't control, because she's not asking to be a lesbian. You just have to get it out to somebody, and I felt her. You know, Boosie, what you have to realize is even in that video, your daughter just gave you a lot of grace. Like, she could have really been nasty, and she could have used it as a platform. She actually is, it looked like a cry for help.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that you reach out when you hear this. I mean, I have never had the experience of my family shunning me for being who I am or whatever. They just have to accept it because it is what it is. What do you think?
You could feel the hurt and the pain and the trauma that man has caused this woman through the course of her life. And what people don't realize is when you put conditions on loving someone, especially someone who is your blood, when you put conditions on the love that is given to them, this is what propels young gay people or young people who are still figuring out who they are to commit suicide, because they don't feel like they have a safe space or a place to go. He is lucky that she is a strong-willed person and she was able to make it through the public shaming and make it through the private shaming and still come out a strong Black woman that she is presenting herself to be. Like, it's crazy.
And everybody's experiences in the LGBT community are different. You've had your own family has had. Tell people just a little bit about your experience, because you've had a different experience than I've had with your family, who's really religious, right?
Yeah, so my family is extremely religious. My mom is a preacher. My grandfather was a preacher. My grandmother was an evangelist. I grew up in the church. So, you know, exploring or discovering or talking about sexuality is not even something that was could be a conversation. And it's still, there's still big patches of my family who can't accept it or can't accept me making a choice on who I decide to spend my life with. And I've heard that you can't bring people back to here. You can't. And then some family members are like, please, whoever you decide to be with, bring them here. So it's like I have to deal with that energy as an adult.
Well, when I get elected, they come into city council. So, I mean, just all Pride Month, it may be a different date in the front row. No, or if I fall in love. I still just don't understand fundamentally why people care what other people are doing. You know, that's why when I find like gay people, that community has its own mess like every other community, but really just they love so many other marginalized groups of people because they get it, right? They get what women are going through. They get what Spanish people are going through, Latinos are going through. They get what they get it. And I just pray that, his daughter is able to get past it. Well, Boosie addressed his comments, and this is what he said. God got us. Never meant to hurt you, daddy, baby, whatever. This next one, we good. Y'all won't make me look like a bad father. I love all my kids and I'm a good father. And he went on and said, I said some things and I didn't know it'll hurt you. Your daddy truly is sorry, and I hope you can forgive me. Live in your truth and just know that you always my baby no matter what. Accept my public apology. Daddy could have said it in a better way. You my baby and will always be that. See, that's what I said. I mean, she was asking for that, and I'm glad that you gave it to her. Bring your ass over here. Pause.
Oh my God.
Jason Lee told Boosie to bring his ass over here. Nah, not like that. Pause. All right. Oh my God, this is so exhausting. I hate. I never intended to be friends with celebrities. I just happen to have some friends who are celebrities. And this one's in the news, so of course I have to talk about it. Cardi B and Offset going off on social media. And did. Is that what she said? And did. And did is going to be on a t-shirt at some point at the Jason Lee show. Cardi B and Offset's divorce is getting messy. Now in August, after 7 years of marriage, Cardi B filed for divorce from Offset for a second time. At the time, the couple shared 2 children, Culture, Kiari, and Wave Set, 2 of the cutest kids I've ever seen. And soon, it was revealed that they would be expecting their third child, a baby girl that I don't think Cardi's released the name to. I haven't even asked her name. Damn, I forgot I even asked her name of the kid. I should ask her. Let me show you a picture of the beautiful family. This is all of them at the hospital. Cardi with the baby, with a fresh face. Culture letting you know that she is Cardi in the coming. That girl is going to be, when she gets a hold of that social media and she really is active. Wave is just is he on his phone? He's unbothered. And then Offset there with the daughter as well. Well, about 2 weeks after giving birth to their third child, Cardi B and Offset, who are still divorcing, started dragging each other for filth online. Now, having had enough of the drama behind the scenes, Cardi went live on Instagram and blasted her soon-to-be ex-husband, claiming that he won't let her move on. If you missed it, my team got it. Look.
That niggas think that they could fuck on anything. But when I start talking to niggas, you want to play those games with me? We're going to play them games too. Since you want to fucking threat me, talking about you want to take my shit? You want to take my shit because I'm moving on? Move on. Why can't you move on? It's no fun when mama got the gun, right? It's no fun when I'm slanging pussy, right? Now we're going to court war, right?
Well, I had tuned into the live and heard the slanging pussy thing, and then I text her and said, stop driving this man crazy, telling him that you slang some pussy gonna drive this man. She said, and did. I'm telling you right now, I don't believe she did it, because that's just, we've had conversations about when he cheated on her, and she's just not that type of person. Maybe she did. I don't know, but I'm calling cap, Cardi. I'm calling cap. I think you are doing this to win an argument with your man, who's soon to be your ex-husband. Because I know you. I don't see you knowing you're pregnant and having sex with. I don't see it. Could have been some Hennessy. Well, Offset was tuned into the live and claimed that she wasn't telling fans the whole truth. And this is what he said in her live. You fucked with a baby inside. Tell the truth. And she responded on Twitter by saying this, and did. Do you believe she did?
I hope she did.
Why?
Because you knew me when my obsession with Cardi was real bad, and I still am obsessed with her, but I feel like her light has been a little dimmed because she's been so in love and so loyal to Offset, and I believe she is very loyal. But I just hope she got her lick back, because he disrespected her.
I hope she did too. And it wouldn't be cheating if they had already broken up.
Yeah.
And it's no harm to the baby. So what?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably good for her if she has sex while she's pregnant and she wasn't with him. And you going around sticking yourself in every woman who can spread her legs. So how dare you have the audacity to try and shame her for having sex when you sleeping with everybody in town, allegedly. So for me, I'm like, good for her.
Allegedly.
It says a lot about the world that you all are consumed with whether or not a woman slept around with a man while she was pregnant, when a man can sleep around on the woman when she's pregnant. It's still both their baby. It's just she's carrying it, he's not. So she's the same vagina y'all want to put at Congress to decide what they could do with the uterus or not. This country is too obsessed with what women do. Again, another example. Well, Cardi went back on live and continued firing off on Offset, and this is what she said.
I just want to let motherfuckers know one good shit, right? I don't give a fuck if a nigga talking about, oh, I'm gonna expose you, or I'm gonna put them text messages that I saw through your phone. I don't give a fuck, nigga. I will expose my own tea. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Do that. I don't care. You should be happy. You know what you should be? You know what you should be happy? You should be happy that I'm a real gangster ass bitch. At the end of the day, I'm a real gangster ass bitch, and I'm a solid bitch. So one thing I'm not gonna do to you ever is entertaining them, your ops that be in my DMs, trying to suck my pussy. I will never do that, because the op to you is a nigga that wants you dead. And I don't want you dead, because my kids love the fuck out of you. My kids love you down. So I will never do that. And I really follow street codes. I will never be a lame ass bitch that fuck with a nigga op just to get back. No, nigga, I don't have to do that shit. I just gotta fuck a nigga that's better than you. However, I don't give a fuck. You can expose whatever the fuck you want to expose, nigga. I exposed it myself. Fuck it out of here. I told you when a Libra start Libraing, we really don't give a fuck. Now, goodbye.
It's too much. Oh my God. We've entered Libra season, by the way. Cardi's birthday is in less than 2 weeks, so I don't even know what shenanigans are going to be happening, but I better get an invite. If this is what happens when you piss off a Libra, I'm taking y'all off the list. I can't. Because Cardi went live again, and this is what she said.
This is such a fucking lame. He's so lame, it's not even funny. So we're texting and everything, and he's trying to FaceTime me. He's trying to FaceTime me because he's trying to show me, like, trying to hurt my feelings. He's trying to show me the girls that he been, I guess, fucking or talking to. And it's like, nigga, I don't care. I don't care, nigga. I don't care. At the end of the day, they pussy must not be that good that you was fucking up. You was blowing up my phone all weekend. All weekend you was blowing up my phone. I blocked you. Even though I know you was gonna go to Atlanta, and I was like, I didn't want to know what you was doing out there. I told you I blocked. You was calling me all private numbers all morning. You was calling my mama, everything. So it's like you trying to show me, trying to get me mad. Like, oh, let me show you the bitches I'm fucking. Let me show you the bitches in my DMs. I'm gonna hurt her feelings. I don't care. I don't care. That pussy must not be hitting. That you still calling my shit. Trying to get your lick back. Trying to do your big lick back. I don't care. You're fucking lame. And them bitches is lames too. You wanna know why? Because you gotta fuck them bitches in order to get your ego to feel high. You know, I'm too much woman for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm too much of a boss bitch for you. And I've always been too good for you. I've been too good for you. I've been too good for anything that is associated to you. So you gotta fuck other bitches to make yourself feel better. Because I make you feel so low about yourself. Because I don't make you feel like you're that nigga in this home. So that's what you gotta do. So you out here trying to hurt my feelings because you fucking the next bitch. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Because them hoes pussy ain't good enough that I be having you crashing out. All weekend. You was mad happy today when I fucking called you today. And the only reason why I called you today is because I'm trying to change my son's school and I need your approval. Other than that, nigga, fuck you. I don't care. Fuck the world. Fuck my ops. I'm gonna fuck your ops. That's why I'm fucking your ops. Yeah, of course, because you don't move with integrity. You're not a street nigga. That's what you do. That's what you do. Oh, I'm gonna go fuck your ops. Goo, boo-hoo, nigga. I don't give a fuck. You can fuck my ops. You can fuck my friends, nigga. I don't give a shit. You're a lame to me, and you will never equate to me. And it's crazy that I even let you even play with me for such a fucking long time, because you're not even a real right nigga for me. I make you look good, nigga. Fuck you. Look at the bitch I'm fucking. Fuck you. I don't care. Look at the bitches that I'm fucking. I'm gonna fuck all your ups. I'm gonna fuck. Matter of fact, oh, look at this. I don't want to see it. So what? You was gonna fuck them anyways, nigga. All you gotta do is get fucking drunk. And them bitches gonna throw you that pussy for $2,000. Bitches gotta survive out here. Bitches gotta survive out here, nigga. Oh, now I'm gonna fuck them bitches. Now I'm gonna fuck bitches. Okay, you could do that. You was gonna do it regardless. You go to a club and you probably get drunk. You give them bitches $2,000 and you was gonna fuck them regardless. Them hoes gotta survive. These hoes is hungry out here. We in a recession, baby. Them hoes gotta get fucked. They gotta get paid. Do that. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, I'm a watch what I'm gonna do to you. Watch what I'm a this, that, blah, blah, blah. You already done it all. You already done it all. You already done it all. You done it all. You done it all. You done it all. Nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing surprises me. You done it all, so I don't care. I don't. Thank you for my kids, though. All 3 of them. I don't regret none of them. But I regret you. I don't regret my kids. You're good, Daddy. You all right. I don't regret them. None of them. Not none of them. But fuck you. I regret you. I'm too good for you. I always been too good for you. You know I'm too good for you, nigga. And I don't ever, I never even wanted to get on this social media because I don't want to turn off the next nigga off because this is not my type of shit. This is not my type of shit. I don't ever want the next nigga to ever think that I'm a messy bitch. But you want to be a messy nigga and do petty shit because you hurt? All right, we going to do it then. Let's go lick for lick. Let's go wrong for wrong. Let's go hit for hit. Fuck you. I told you, leave me the fuck alone. I just want to let motherfuckers know one good shit, right? I don't give a fuck if a nigga talking about, oh, I'm gonna expose you, or I'm gonna put them text messages that I saw through your phone. I don't give a fuck, nigga. I will expose my own tea. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. Do that. I don't care. You should be happy. You know what you should be? You know what you should be happy? You should be happy that I'm a real gangster-ass bitch. At the end of the day, I'm a real gangster-ass bitch, and I'm a solid bitch. So one thing I'm not going to do to you ever is entertaining them, your ops that be in my DMs trying to suck my pussy. I will never do that because the op to you is a nigga that wants you dead. And I don't want you dead because my kids love the fuck out of you. My kids love you down. So I will never do that. And I really follow gangster. I really follow street codes. I will never be a lame ass bitch that fuck with a nigga op just to get back. No, nigga, I don't have to do that shit. I just gotta fuck a nigga that's better than you. However, I don't give a fuck. You can expose whatever the fuck you want to expose, nigga. I expose it myself. Fuck it out of here. I told you when a Libra start Libraing, we really don't give a fuck. Now, goodbye.
I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. We've already gone through this with Blueface and Krishan. And Cardi's better than this. But I also know she knows how to control her narrative and she uses social media to do it. And she's taking back her voice. And I love her for that. And speaking of Krishan, there were rumors that you slept with her.
Allegedly.
Blueface said it, not me. And she knows where all the bodies are buried, literally. So you better be careful. And again, I think that Cardi wants to move on. But I'm going to tell you it's going to be really hard. And I'm going to just say this. And look, I'm just doing my job. Pow, pow. I know how much he loves his children, and he is a great father. She's told me that. I've seen it, and I know he loves his kids, all of his kids. And Offset, underneath the exterior, is a nice guy. He's a sweet guy, but he's also a... That's what happens when you do it. You're going to have a hard time seeing her with somebody else. The minute she pops out with Travis Scott or Jason Tatum or anybody, you're going to have a hard time, and she's going to flaunt it all over social media, and we're all going to talk about it, and it's going to drive you crazy, and you're going to feel that avalanche of pressure, and you are going to act out, and she's going to be right there to go, you know how she does that, right?
But I was going to say, since you know her really well, do you think that she's done? Because I know they go back and
She's
forth a lot.
done. She's done.
Good.
At this point, I will say that although I like families to work, and I think that I would love to see them work as a family, she's been disrespected too much in the public eye. She's been embarrassed too much. She has too many women that look up to her. She has her daughters who now are going to look up to her. She has her mother who has to look at her. She has her sister who has to look at her. She has too many people now saying, bitch, if you go back, right? So there's that. On the other hand, too, like, are you going to become Bobby and Whitney? She is the bigger star in the relationship. She is the name. There was recently a post on Facebook that went viral with them at the Super Bowl where it said Cardi B. They were sitting right next to each other. They didn't even name him. He is one of my favorite rappers in a rap group. My favorite rap group is the Migos, and that group had its thing. Where, you know, no matter what you say about them or think about them, they were one of the best rap groups that I've seen in a long time. They've developed a sound that the Migos is downright one of the best, whatever. But he's a man, a flawed man. And as a flawed man, she's done a lot to protect him. I won't even get into the countless phone calls I got from her protecting him from things that I had to do at my job. Meaning looking out for her man like a strong woman does. And she's going to be mad at me for saying this, but I will tell you that this woman held her man down. You were there for lots of our fights around this. And when Offset first cheated and we wheeled those flowers out, I was the one that got the flowers for him to help keep this together. Because you didn't know that? He knew that. Because I cared about this family. I cared about him and I cared about her. I am not friends with him. I don't hate him. We're not friends. We had a really good conversation last time I saw him, and I respect his hustle, and he's been doing a great job by his own as an artist, independent of this and independent of the Migos. But as a man, I think he was just ready to move on, and now this situation of cheating allegedly, the last time she's now moved on. I will say as her friend, when I talk to her, I get that she is emotionally vacated it.
Thank God.
And look, she on the live, I guess, talked about not knowing at my dinner that she was pregnant. And we talked about that privately so I could speak on it. You know, she was at my party looking snatched. We didn't know she was pregnant. And then she found out, and I think somewhere inside, no pun intended, she wanted to have all her kids with one man. So I love the fact that no shaming everybody who got multiple baby daddies. She wanted all her kids with one man, and now she has 3 kids with one man. I don't see her wanting to have 5 different baby daddies. You know, so I'm happy that she was able to move on. Well, they started going back and forth in the comment sections. Here's a photo of that. The fact you keep going shows you hurt. Leave alone. Don't you got a nigga? Ain't we divorced? And then she goes back, laughing my ass off, coming from the same one that had to DM me all weekend, crashing out because he was blocked, hurt because I was going to Paris. He right. It will be the last time he talking about his lame ass. Everybody can see I don't want you. It's okay. I'm not talking about this no more. All of you will be calling me after a couple months. You my baby mama, I won. You insecure. Move on. I pray for peace. Well, Cardi started dropping receipts because, of course, it ain't over. Showing that Offset's been begging her back. Look, I am not I'm just gonna go straight. Can I jack off with you on the phone? Listen, okay. It's too much.
Oh my God.
And like everything we talk about now is sex, baby oil, freak offs, jacking off on the phone. Side note, I wouldn't jack off on the phone because somebody can keep that receipt. If I call you, if I FaceTime, I don't even want to tell people the game. Not that I've done this because I haven't done it, but I'm just thinking, if I turn on my screen record and then FaceTime you, does that screen record the FaceTime?
Yeah.
It does?
But no audio.
But you can still see the jacking off.
Yeah.
Or you could just have a second phone, which most people have, and record.
And sneak record. Mm-hmm.
See, I have 4 phones, but I don't even do that. I don't sneak record. See, now, and you know what? Thank you for saying this because I don't even do nothing for y'all to screen record me. I ain't jacking off. I ain't even going to talk about the things that happen on my phone because then I'll end up on social media. Let's just leave it alone. Well, anyway, despite all of the drama, our good sis Cardi didn't let none of it block her blessings as she popped out at Fashion Week in Paris all week, back-to-back slayage. Take a look at the Slay 1, Slay 2, Slay 3, Slay 4. 4 is giving, no, go back to 4. 4 is giving, it's giving modern day Star Wars because remember the Ewoks had that furry thing like that, but she's giving Ewok couture. Okay, go on to the next looks. 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at all the wig changes, just everything. Anyway, Offset still was in his feelings, claimed Takeoff and others warned him about Cardi, but his post backfired and he got checked by Takeoff's brother Wire and Lingo. Take a look. Listen to your people taking the bros told me. And Lingo said, my brother ain't telling him shit. Let my twin rest. I just pray that everybody can move forward. You have 3 beautiful babies. You have 2 successful careers. Cardi has an album coming out really soon, which I'm really excited about. This is no allegedly because I know when and I'm not going to tell you. And I pray that she lets me throw her a party here in LA because I've already offered it to her to do it free of charge. I do want to post on social media. All right, that's it. It's time for thoughts and prayers. The hammer is coming down on Diddy, but according to his attorney, he's ready to put up a fight. Despite the mounting lawsuits and alleged evidence submitted to the feds, Diddy wholeheartedly believes that he can beat them. we shouldn't say him beating anything in the middle of this show. Well, it may indeed appear that the government is trying to take down another successful black man. If the man is guilty, he's guilty. Now, if he's proven innocent beyond a reasonable doubt, set him free. But only time will tell. In the meantime, we have the 2024 election to look forward to right in front of our eyes, even though we already know the winner, Kamala. Trump continues to make himself look so unserious in this election, and despite his running mate appearing polished during the debate, he was up there lying just like his running mate. But like Kamala said, we're not going back. Just like our good sis Cardi. We ain't going back to Trump, and clearly she's done with Offset. It's time for all of us to recognize our worth and add the tax. You know, those mandatory payments to governments that Trump doesn't like to submit. Well, Uncle Sam said one way or another, we're going to get ya, just like they're coming for Naomi Campbell. The internet claims she shaded Rihanna and her busty breast. Then she got busted for allegedly stealing from her own charity.
Allegedly.
Meanwhile, Boosie's outside, still coming for the LGBTQAI Elemental Z+. When he needs to do, what he needs to do is come on my show so we can get into some things. And I'm not going to say pause to that. Boosie stays talking about my community and Rob's. And I want to have a real conversation. So Boosie, this is your official invitation to the Jason Lee Show. Come on out. Look, until then, keep locking in, keep checking back for more updates. And if you're in Stockton, please register to vote. If you're anywhere in the country, please get registered to vote and vote on or before November 5th. Ballots are out in my hometown now. I'm sure they're out wherever you are, but vote, vote, vote. And if you want to follow us anywhere on Hollywood Unlocked, Instagram or Jason Lee Show Instagram, please do that. And you can text us 310-388-6463. Again, 310-388-6463 is where you can find me. Until then, I'm going to go knock on some doors. Peace.
The Jason Lee Podcast.